Seafloor spreading. So, seafloor spreading is the theory that explains how new oceanic crust is formed at ocean ridges, slowly moves away from the ridges, and is destroyed at deep sea trenches. Magma is forced upward along the ocean ridge because it is less dense than the surrounding mantle. So you have this magma that forms, it's less dense than the surrounding mantle. It is basically forced upwards. And then as the two sides of the ridge separate, the magma fills in the gap and forms new ocean floor. Then this process continues, producing new ocean floor, which slowly moves away from the ridge. So as a diagram for this, what we have here, we have our ocean ridge, which is basically right here. You have the magma, which basically forms down lower in the mantle, but then it's less dense than the mantle, so it starts to move up through the mantle. And then as it moves up, the ocean ridge separates, and then that new magma comes in and creates new ocean floor, kind of fills in the gap. And then as this builds up, it eventually will start to push down and out, and then keeps separating the floor at the ridge. And then basically that crust will continue to move off to either side of that ocean ridge until it basically goes into a subduction zone and a trench, and then basically is recycled. So it actually gets pushed back down into the mantle where it will melt again. And then basically this magma will come up. And then you either get volcanic islands like we have over here. So these are islands. And then on this side, we actually have volcanoes over here. So this kind of shows, again, some of this magma that is basically coming up from the subduction zone to form this line of volcanoes right here. And then this is basically another area where you've got magma being formed as this plate is subducted, and that magma rises up again and produces volcanoes on this side. So Wegener's idea revisited. So while Wegener had a lot of data showing that the continents were once together and drifted apart, he could not explain how it happened. So he had all the evidence kind of showing that, yeah, they were connected, but he couldn't explain how. So his idea was kind of rejected. Now, seafloor spreading completed his model. So this created a mechanism for continental drift. So the continents are not pushing through the oceanic crust like Wegener suggested. Instead, they're more like passengers on the ocean crust as it moves slowly away from the ocean ridges. So you kind of have your oceanic crust, and then you have your continental crust that's kind of sitting on top of that. And then the oceanic plates kind of slide to left and right from the ridge. So you got the ridge sort of right here. And then this led to new understanding of how Earth's crust and the upper mantle move.